What's up, guys? How's it going? And welcome to another episode of Rising Knight Podcast. Today is episode level 3. It's now we're getting somewhere, I guess. Today with my co-host Rising. How are you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Yeah, how's it been, everyone?
For people out there, we try to do this weekly podcast, and to us, it's been a little bit more than a couple days since we did the last podcast. So we're just kind of catching up, talking again. It's been a while. How you been, man? Anything fun lately?
I'm pretty good. I finished up watching the Obi-Wan series. I don't know. Have you been watching the Obi-Wan series?
I watched it. It was actually pretty interesting. It was very different from what I wanted about it. Like, it's not in a bad way, but I wanted something different. Because there is a series of books about Obi-Wan, and I was hoping to see that, but this wasn't it. But it was still fine. I don't think it was a bad show or anything.
I really enjoyed it, actually. I thought, I don't know, everything with Star Wars, it's like, whenever they do something brand new, it always sort of messes up with something, like, later. You know, even, like, the prequels sort of mess up the originals and whatnot, and, like, there's always, like, weird retcons and things like that.
Yeah,
but
it's always a retcon, and it's kind of crazy because you will think they will have, like, a person in charge to keep continuity good, because I mean, look at things like Star Wars is big, but it's not the biggest thing ever, right? Like there are a lot of like TV shows and movies and that stuff. I mean, look at something like the MCU, right? Although there's little things here and there, for the most part it's like pretty cohesive as a whole, because they have people involved in the process of making sure like there's like enough so that it's not retconning or anything. But with Star Wars, every time we get something new, it's like, okay, well, I kind of have to think about like the ramifications of what you're saying right now.
Yeah, exactly. And like also like Star Wars also like jumps around a lot with like directors and people in charge, and then, you know, Disney buys them, so it's like well, I guess Marvel's also by Disney, but I don't know, they still could have different like people in charge of it. But I mean, I kind of keep that in mind whenever watching Star Wars stuff, and I just realize like I kind of need to take this for my own, and if I want to like include it in with everything else, like I kind of have that choice, I guess. That's kind of, I don't know, like games are also kind of like that too. Like, I don't know, like the Call of Duty Zombies, for instance, they have like multiple endings, and you kind of just get to choose whatever ending you want or whatever stuff you want to include within it or not. So that's kind of how I go.
It kind of makes sense, I guess. Fans will take things their own way, right? Their own interpretation and everything. Everybody has different interpretations for things. I don't know. To me, I'm always about the canon. I'm like, I want to know what's like in a continuity, like what's canon, what isn't canon, or anything. Because I hate, like, on the other hand, right, where they make everything that they make is canon, right? Like, not with Star Wars, but all the properties. Like, for example, we talk about, like, Megaton and stuff like that. Like, there's, like, so many debates about, like, what is canon, what isn't canon, what is, you know, and everything. And to me, I'm just, like, I just wish they will, like, keep good continuity. Because it kind of messes with me. But, like, not in a good way. I just kind of get annoyed about it. I'm like, okay, well, is this good or not good? Like, I don't know. Anyway,
it's kind of like the Dragon Ball movies as well. It's like, what's canon for those? Because they could happen at any time, you know? It's like, do we include this as part of, like, something that's happened with the characters? Like, does Goku remember fighting, like, Janempa now? Or, like...
Right, yeah.
Any of those characters or not? And
or, like, yeah, or do they, like, ever show up again? Or... Because sometimes, you know, they make friends and, like... no, I totally agree with you. It's kind of one of those things where it becomes also, kind of annoying.
Like, they bring back Frieza in the series, right? Like, later. But Cooler's, like, supposed to be stronger than Frieza, but it's like, do they even realize Cooler's a thing? Or is it just because, like, that's not actually canon, so you just don't know? I've always thought that was weird.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? They do certain things that you're like, that doesn't make sense, but okay. I don't know. Well, anyway, about the show, going back to Star Wars, what did you think? Like, what were your thoughts on it and everything?
I really
without
enjoyed it.
going spoilers.
Yeah, I'll try not. Yeah, we'll try not to spoil because like it just came out like a couple days ago. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. I think they did a good job with. I mean, it is a good focus on Obi-Wan, which is nice, and I think a lot of people did want to see what happens with him like after Episode 3. And I think this is a good job in doing it. They kind of do leave it open for potentially like a season 2.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
I think that might be.
I wish they would just continue with other things and everything. I don't know. I like Obi-Wan. I think he's a great character. They do a pretty good job showing him and his relationship with Anakin and everything. And I don't know. The first like 2-3 episodes were kind of really slow. Like
I was about to say that
there was action happening. Like there was, don't get me wrong, there was things going on, but they were so slow paced that I was like, man, I really just want to get to like the Obi-Wan stuff that I want to see, because I understand that they have to build up the world because obviously things have changed. It's like 10, 11 years, something like that, right? Since episode 3. So there's been time, right? So like we kind of have to like catch up what's been going on in 10 years, like what's going on with all these characters, Leia and the Organas, and like the what is the group of what are they called?
The Inquisitors.
The Inquisitors and their stuff, and they have to build them up. But then you have to take in consideration the TV shows, like the animated TV show with Rebels, right? And that's a thing. And they also showcase the Inquisitors and his canon. And then you have what is that? Rogue One too, right? That's another thing.
Yeah, and then, which takes place like in between. Yeah,
and then you have what is that called? The video game.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order, which is also canon, and you also fight some of the Inquisitors as well in the game.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you do. And apparently that game is gonna get a sequel to it as well, and they're gonna do a TV show with the same actor.
I've heard about that, which I think would be dope as hell. I haven't played that game, but I've seen gameplay of it, and I'm like, this looks awesome, but I just haven't picked it up yet. You should
play it, bro. It's like Star Wars Dark Souls. That's basically what it is.
That's sick. That actually sounds great.
Yeah, it's really good. I like so there's like a bunch of stuff, and the build up to like everything that happens in later episodes is pretty slow burning. Like I feel like if this was only like 3 episodes long, or like just a movie, could have worked a little bit better for me.
Well, that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a movie. This is why I think
it was supposed to be a movie after Han Solo, right?
It was supposed to be a movie, but then they let's like make it longer. Here's my thing. I think they wanted to show like Obi-Wan being like weak, and I feel like that's why not a lot happens. Because they want to show like Obi-Wan being weak and slowly getting his like strength back, and I think that's why it took so long.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know, because he wasn't like, he had that connection with the Force, but then he had to go in hiding and everything. So I don't know. Like it makes sense, but also like it takes so long. And I'm sorry, like the actress that they picked for Leia, she's fine, but it was kind of annoying.
Yeah, there were some parts that were annoying. I thought she was really cute though. Did like a good job. Like for like the later stuff.
No disrespect for like the actress itself. Like girl, you like, it's good to be child actress and everything, but holy crap, like some of them parts, especially like the first 2 episodes, were kind of like.
That's what I was thinking. Where it's just like really only about her.
Yeah.
But like later, like it's pretty good. Especially like when they get in that desert place.
Yeah.
I think she just does a good job there. But yeah, I get what you mean. When it's like only about her and Obi-Wan, and that's it. And all the stories really evolving around her, it's kind of annoying. I get what you mean by that.
It's alright. I mean, like, what can I say at the end, right? The show was good. I will give it maybe like an 8 out of 10. Like, I don't think it was like the best TV show that they ever done or anything like that. It had some really badass moments. I'm sure everybody knows eventually, right? You're gonna see Darth Vader, right? But what they do with him, and like how they showcase his strength, and like how like this is peak Darth Vader right here. Because when we see him in like episode 4, 5, and 6, he's like an older guy, right? But you're seeing him like peak Darth Vader, and I really like.
Well, same thing for Obi-Wan. You're seeing him like kind of peak strength too, right?
Right.
He's only becoming better than he has ever been. So like watching them fight's pretty good. Like Anakin, being played by Christian Haydenson again is really nice, and you can tell it's kind of like him in the suit because of like how quickly he moves. He seems kind of slender as well, which is like, kind of how he, his body's like shaped at the time. If you look at episode 3 and you just put Hayden Christensen in the suit, that's kind of just what it feels like. That's what it looks like. Like you can convey that it's Hayden Christensen in the suit, and like I'm glad that he's like reprising his role as Darth Vader, and that he actually gets to be in the suit and everything. Which he's only in the suit for like 5 or 6 seconds in episode 3, where he just says like, "Where's Padme?" and he says no. That's literally all it is. Right. So him actually getting to move around and like do things in the Vader suit.
They show him how strong he is and everything. I don't know. I think they did a pretty good job. But again, there's so many slow moments that I'm like, I don't know if it's worth watching certain episodes. Although they do it because they have to build up to it and everything. But I don't know. I have certain like feelings about it. But overall, it's fine, I guess.
I don't know. If you loved episode 3 as a kid, you'll really love this. Like, that's kind of how I was. I loved episode 3 a lot. And if you love episode 3, it's amazing. Like how much you're gonna get out of it. And I think I believe Christian Haydensen's talked about like he would love to do a Darth Vader series.
Okay, that I would like to see a little bit more. I think that will work pretty well. And he's a great actor. Like I know he had like really bad rep when the episode happened and everything, but I did like his character and like what he did with Anakin.
Well, it's similar to Twilight. Like he's playing this angsty teen / like young adult that doesn't quite know what he's doing. And he plays that well. People think he's just awkward, but like no, he's trying to play an awkward character.
Yeah, and the lines were awkward. It's not really his fault. Like I feel like a lot of people don't give him enough credit. The script wasn't super good, and you can tell like certain lines was like it's not him. It's just really what he had to work with and everything.
There's a reason the lines are so memeable, but like I think I like that now. I appreciate that being what it is. So I think he embraces it now. I know that he was actually like really discouraged as an actor for a long time because of that, but you could tell by like certain events and things that they've had around here and like interviews and stuff, he's really like embraced the Star Wars like community again, and really like now that the people who watched episode 3 and the prequels have grown up and they're maybe like the core audience now, he loves that. And I'm like, dude, I've loved you for years, so I'm glad that you're like happy now, and him wanting to do like a Darth Vader series would be interesting because like they've shown other things where like Darth Vader, when he's like in his like I don't know, like rejuvenation pod or whatever, where he has a suit on.
Yeah, I know he
has like visions and stuff like that, and he like does like mental training and lots of things like that. That'd be interesting to see, like a day in the life of like what he has to go through, being in the suit and everything. That'd be such an interesting like thing to watch. So
there's definitely a lot of room for that kind of stuff. I would be interested in that. I don't know how far they can take Obi-Wan as a character though, because there's only so much they can do with him, because he's supposed to be in secret, right? Like that's the whole thing about him living in secret in the desert, right? So, and then at the end where he talks to Leia, no spoilers, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but although they do leave some open-ended stuff, they really just kind of have to hint that he has to stay in the desert planet, right?
Like he has to do what he has to do for it to line up with episode 4, so
so I don't know. There's only so much they can do with him because of episode 4, but there's like so many other areas of Star Wars they could explore, like Yoda, for example. That like like they could do something with him too, right? I don't know. There's so many other stuff they could do, I think.
And my brother brought this up. He's like, Star Wars is an entire galaxy. It's the entire universe. There's so many stories that they could tell. Like, there could be like planets super, super far away that has nothing to do with the characters we know, and there could be like a story there. Like, it's sort of limitless on the amount of stories you can make. Like, you don't always have to go back to Obi-Wan and Luke and Darth Vader. There's a whole universe of like stuff we could do.
And timelines too. I mean, they can go back to the very beginning of the Jedi and the Sith, right? Or like thousands of like Jedi history and like different like temples and like, you know, like whenever they made the lightsabers, and like there's like so many different timelines and so many things to do. And I think that they don't necessarily need to focus on like, there's like 60 years of like Star Wars lore that they focus so much on, but there's like so much more out there to like interpret and then do and everything. I don't know.
For sure.
Especially now that they like showcase more of like the Mandalorian, they could like, I was really thinking the Mandalorian was gonna be about some other Mandalorian, like decades before, like or centuries literally before, like all of this.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Like thousands and thousands of years ago. Exactly. Growing up.
But I don't know. There's some cool stuff. I'm still very excited about the Star Wars stuff. I think that it's getting better. I wasn't a real big fan about like any of the stuff that they did for episodes 7,
sequels,
8, 9. Right, those didn't really click for me too much. But Rogue One, at least, I like Rogue One.
Rogue One was pretty good, yeah.
And I like the TV shows that they're doing now. I think that works better for them. I'm not sure if they changed writers, they changed directors, like what exactly is going on with what they're doing. But I think it just works better for them.
Definitely, and I think shorter stories in ways can help, because like I don't know, I feel like when they have these big movies, they're like, this has to be amazing. This has to do callbacks to all the old stuff. It has to like tie everything up together. And I think when they just do stuff like that, I think lose direction of having just like a good story, because they're like, we need to tie in, you know, the droids in this. We need to do a callback to like the Emperor now. We have to do all this kind of stuff. And it's like, when you do that, you really limit yourself. So I think that's what's wrong with some of the movies. That, and they changed directors or whatever halfway through. Like, it was supposed to be different endings, and then they changed it, So, I don't know. I think, like, I guess maybe to wrap up the Star Wars bit here, like moving on in the future, I think I'd rather see series, like small series, like they do with Mandalorian or Obi-Wan. But, like, make it nothing involving the people we know. Like, show us other characters or something. Like, a series about Ahsoka would be nice, for instance, but like
they're doing
characters we hardly know.
Movie, but yeah, you're right. They should do other things that is not just about like the core characters in like Star Wars, right? Something completely different will be pretty cool.
I'd love to see like the Jedi like far like long time ago, because I know that the Jedi in like episodes 1, 2, and 3. They're kind of not who they're supposed to be, because they're they're like almost
like corrupt,
generals
if
and
you
stuff.
Will. Yeah, like they're not like the Jedi they used to be a long time ago and everything.
And like they're like politicians and stuff, and that's not what they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see them more as like their monk. They're supposed to be like space monks, right? I would love to see it more like that, like a long time ago. Wizards. Yeah, like show me like the Jedi like way back when, you know. When they were like probably more like tribal people, I guess.
Yeah,
or
or maybe there's a bunch of Sith too, because there used to be like a planet full of like Jedis and Siths and stuff, right? So like I don't know, there's like so much lore that they could like grab from. There's hundreds of Star Wars books to pick from. Hell, there is a whole book series about like like zombies and shit, like in Star Wars. Like,
oh my god,
yeah, like there's so many stuff they could do. Seriously, there's like a horror book about like zombies that are stuck in like a.
Well, dude, having a lightsaber is the best weapon for a zombie. You don't make a lot of noise, just cut their head off, and they're done. You know.
I don't know. There'll be some pretty cool stuff, but like I'm interested to see where they take it, but. they have so much potential to do anything, because this is the difference between this and something like Lord of the Rings. There's because Lord of the Rings has like the opposite issue, like when they don't have all the rights to everything. So
oh yeah, because like it's an old dude's books he wrote like
yeah,
a long time ago. Yeah.
So there's only so many rights that they got for so many different stuff. So they can't do everything, right? But Star Wars, they own the entire property. Like there's like thousands of years of history that they could do on. I don't know. I think that they should do some other cool stuff. But
they should go like thousands of years in the past, or like thousands of years in the future, or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what they should do.
Give us new stuff. Give us new Star Wars stuff. I think that will work really well.
Did you end up seeing the new Doctor Strange movie?
I did watch the Doctor Strange movie. Did you watch it?
Okay, good. Yes, I did. That might be my favorite. One of my favorite Marvel movies. I can't lie. I loved that movie to death, dude.
Did you really? That's interesting. I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was like the greatest one.
I guess I like Doctor Strange a lot. Doctor Strange and Captain America have always been my favorite, so that might also be why I'm.
No, I like Doctor Strange as a character. I actually liked the Doctor Strange movie, the first one. I liked it a lot.
That was really good.
I wanted to see what they were gonna go with this one. I don't know. I think my problem was that they didn't do enough with the multiverse of madness part.
I could see that.
To me, like I watched. The thing is that I watched a movie before that movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it's a movie about another multiverse. Like
heard of that.
And that movie is so good, so creative. There's like so many things that they do. Basically, to give you guys a small summary of it, it's this lady who's just like she's like a dead end. He has like a dead end job with her husband. They own like this like laundry mat, and like they're being the tax department is like reviewing their stuff because they're accusing them of like like not doing tax correctly. They're gonna lose their home, which is like
what's that called? Being audited or whatever.
Yeah, they're being audited. And like everything is falling apart. Her daughter is like lesbian, but she won't tell her dad about it. And like so they have like this really bad dynamic. Like their family dynamic is really weird. Like not weird like a bad way. Like mean like. They're just like falling apart basically, and then her husband wants to divorce her. Like literally everything is just going really wrong.
God damn! What isn't wrong?
Yeah, and turns out that they're literally at the tax place, and her husband like changes into another person. He puts like a Bluetooth, and he loses the accent. He talks completely different. He's like, "Hey, I'm not your husband. I'm from another dimension. We have to talk, whatever." And they talk about like. They tell her that there's like this monster or like this bad guy, I guess, that is like destroying other timelines, and she's like the only one that can help them. But like in order for them to like actually access, so they don't travel across dimensions, but they are able to either take knowledge from another timeline or control with their mind. That's control crazy. Another timeline. It's really interesting. It's really creative because it's not just like about like going into other timelines. They can control themselves of another timeline.
The Loki series is kind of similar to that as well, if you've seen it.
Yeah. Loki series
really
is
loved
interesting. And anyway, so there's like a bunch of different timelines. Literally, there's like weird timelines where like they have like sausages for hands. And
what the fuck?
Yeah, but in order for them to connect into the other, because they can take abilities from other ones. So let's say like in one dimension, you were like a kung fu master or something like that. So you have to do like eat chapstick and like it's like something very unlikely that you wouldn't do, in order for you to connect into yourself from another dimension where you have that particular skill. And
where was this movie? Or is it a series or a movie? Where is it?
It's a movie. It was in the movie theater.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been to a movie theater in a while, I guess.
Yeah, I
think of COVID, but...
I think you can even watch it on like Amazon Prime or something like that. But anyway, and it has the comedy in it is super good. Like there's one part where one of the guys, in order for them to to connect with the other themselves from another universe. There's this trophy that is shaped like a butt plug, and they literally have to insert that trophy in their butt. And there's like a whole choreography fighting scene, and it's really funny. It's really funny, but it's really well done. It's whack as fuck. Like it really is like really crazy. But
that's how I guess multiverse should be, though, right?
Yeah. You know? It like basically what they did with it, I just feel like they did so much creative. Like there's like so much freedom as far as like all this stuff and everything, and they did such a good job. And under beneath all this craziness is literally a family story. You know, it's how the lady like comes to accept her daughter and like becomes a better person. You know, like loves her husband. Like, you know, like they kind of come together at the end. But the way that everything happens is like super crazy. Like there's like so many versions of everyone that you see, and
that's a crazy dynamic. I think I've seen like bits of like that series on like Twitter. I think.
Yeah, I think you've probably seen maybe like there's this GIF where like it changes from like all the different dimensions where, because the bad guy has like the best power, I think in all like multiverse history. Basically the bad guy can connect to every version of themselves at the same time, all the time. So they are basically experiencing everything, every single timeline where they could possibly exist. They experience it all the time, and they can pull things from that particular timeline. So
that's like super like deep level sci-fi, which I like.
Yeah. I mean, like
space and time is like something I'm so nerdy about, and I love it. So I love when they like go all the way in with that stuff.
I mean, literally like there will be a scene where they're like she's fighting like some policeman or something like that, and like she literally turns their batons into like dildos, and it turns into like a dildo, like because like the way that they do it is like it's on the spot, you know, like everything is just changing all the time and everything. I don't know, it's insane. I cannot describe the movie like enough, but check it out. I just think that was a better like. If there was like a multiverse of madness, that would be like that movie, because it's like
that's
absolutely insane. Right. But going back to Doctor Strange, I thought it was good, but if they had like maybe done like maybe Doctor Strange and Wanda or something like that, because like of the actual multiverse, there isn't enough multiverse for me to say is multiverse of madness, right?
I feel like if that girl had her own movie, that would be the multiverse of madness.
Right. Like I want to see crazy shit. Like I want you to travel to like hell, the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that has more timelines and more like multiverse stuff than Doctor Strange does.
Yeah, which is crazy. I haven't seen. I don't know if I should say this or not. I haven't seen any of the new Spider-Man.
Oh, you haven't seen so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? You haven't seen that? It's an animated movie.
Oh,
you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen him.
No, you gotta. It's such a good movie. The animation is so like interesting.
The one that's comic book like.
Yeah.
I've seen half of it, but that's it. I haven't seen any of the other Spider-Man movies
either. Oh yeah, you don't have to watch those. That's fine. Like, but
I'm saying eventually at some point I will. Yeah. There's the one where they have Tobey Maguire and all the other ones.
What is that movie called? No Way Home.
I thought that was the Spider-Verse.
No. The Spider-Verse is an animated movie.
That's what with Miles Morales, right?
Yeah, with Miles Morales, and they have like Spider-Mans from other dimensions, which I don't know. Like if they, that's basically a different plot altogether. But yeah, I don't know. The other one was cheap because it was fine. It wasn't super good, but because he had like so much, like they brought Tobey Maguire, they brought actors from like the other movies and everything. I think a lot of people was like willing to like. I like it more because of that. Because I mean, like, the movie was fine. I don't think it was bad, but I don't think it was like this massive, like the amazing movie or anything like that.
I guess if you're like a huge Star Wars, or like not Star Wars, I'm still back on that. If you're a huge Spider-Man fan, you'd probably love it to death, right?
Yeah, no, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man fan is my second favorite superhero. But I am also able to see like there is a level of oh, here, this is nostalgia, opposed to like being actually a really good Spider-Man film, like by itself. Yeah, and
that makes sense. Like, but I get what they were trying to do, because there is stuff like that, I think, in the comics and whatnot for Spider-Man. So like I guess it makes sense, but I don't know. Like, the Tom Holland only had one movie before this, or was it 2? Of his own before they jumped right to this.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is that Spider-Man has had Tom Holland has had at least like 6 or 7 movies, because of all the other stuff, and that's kind of
like Avengers and whatnot.
Yeah, because of the Avengers. He was in like the Avengers, Infinity Wars, and the other Avenger movie, and then he was in the Civil War movie too. So like. They have so much like other
he has at least like 5 at this point.
Yeah, he has had at least 5 movies, right? So like, I don't know, it was fine.
I guess it works.
But this movie felt like literally the beginning of Spider-Man. like they were just literally starting Spider-Man as like the the hero that makes his own costume and does all the other stuff and everything. I don't know. Tom Holland is fine. He's just, I don't think he's a really good Peter Parker, but he's a good actor, and at least you're willing to give him a chance.
Yeah, he is. Like, I still need to watch Uncharted.
Yeah,
I love Uncharted, like the games, but I haven't seen the movie yet. So
that movie was okay. He's definitely not Nathan Drake, but again, he has his own charisma, and they're like, okay, I'm willing to watch your movie, because you're a good actor and you can do a good job at the movie. But itself, the Nathan Drake movie isn't Nathan Drake. He just has the name, but definitely it's not.
They do Uncharted-like things. Like Chloe, too. Like, I think it's her name. Am I getting it right?
Yeah.
The girl in it, she kind of doesn't seem like the girl from the games either. But...
Well, she's not Chloe. She's someone else. But
really? Oh.
Yeah, which also threw me off, because they set him up with a relationship with this person, or like at least like attraction, right? But she's not the girl that he marries eventually in the games.
It's like, the blonde-haired girl? No, I mean like the other girl from Uncharted 2.
I don't know. Is she Chloe? I don't even remember. It's been so long, man.
I think that is supposed to be her.
It's been like, when did the movie come out? At the beginning of the year or something like that, right?
Is it the beginning of the year, or it came out? Yeah, I think it came out at the beginning of this year, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It's been a while, but I thought it was fine. It's like a solid 6 or 7, like not great, but it wasn't like trash.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot just to see what it's like, because I love Uncharted. Since like I've had that PlayStation service where you can play the old games, I've been playing the Uncharted games because the Uncharted collection's on there. So I've been giving those a good run, and I really love those games. Honestly, like, I know the Tomb Raider-esque, like I know what they're kind of copying, but like I feel like Uncharted does such a good job. Because like the characters are written so well,
and that's why it kind of baffles me in a sense, because those movies were made. I'm sorry, those games were made to be movies. Like they're like literally like blockbuster, like explosions and caves.
Dude,
and,
like
exploration.
When they were doing ads for Uncharted, like the ads like for PlayStation were like I can't stop playing Uncharted. My girlfriend thinks it's a movie and she keeps watching it, or something like that. I remember those being ads for it. Like, even certain parts of that game where like things were happening, I would stop playing because I would like watch. I'm like, oh, this isn't a cutscene. This is actually like gameplay.
Yeah, especially so like when you play like Uncharted 4, for example, there's some parts where you're just watching and it's just like, wow, like it's so detailed and everything. And I don't know, that's why I don't know if you can even argue, like, do they even need movies of this kind of games where the game itself is like a movie?
Well, like you'd think Assassin's Creed, they'd also have done a good job with that too. Like, you can go into the Animus and live any life you wanted to. It's like, that's literally, you could set up a movie anywhere you want to. And like there's already a good plot, there's the villain, there's already all this stuff they could do with it, but like the Assassin's Creed movie wasn't too great. I actually really enjoyed it, But like, I know people hated that movie, but I don't know. I thought it was decent though. But video game movies like infamously like always do bad.
Yeah, I think the only one that has been doing good lately, as far as like video game movies, is the Sonic movies.
Yeah, people love those.
Yeah.
After they forced him to change his design.
They literally bullied a studio into fixing it, which is funny, but it's also like, why don't we do it every single time?
Yeah, I guess. I wonder if it would have done good at all, though. Like, is Sonic's design the only thing that, like, made the movie good? Like, would it have not been good if he still looked awful or whatever, you know? I wonder, like, what it would have been. Because I know some people are like, I kind of wished I would have saw the ugly-ass looking Sonic, because it would have been funny.
You know what's really funny? They're actually using... the ugly Sonic in another TV show.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. Did you see Chip and Dale, the Explorer Rescuers or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch it, but I know about it.
There is a part where they use ugly Sonic as a character, and it's literally called Ugly Sonic. Like, they actually use the model on this TV show to make fun of it. But, like, it's meta. It's supposed to be meta.
Dude, the poor guy who made that model, jeez. It's probably a whole team in charge of it, really. It's probably just one guy. It's probably a whole fucking team.
It's probably a whole team of animators that did that. Which is kind of funny, but also, like, that's, like, why would you do him like that?
That's true. Those people haven't, like... They haven't played a Sonic game or anything. There's animated, like, series, too. There's an anime for it, too. And he's, like, designed really good. It's a little bit different than, like, the games. Like, how do they fuck it up so bad? They must not have really ever seen it or, like, played the games. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Video game movies. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen any good ones other than, like, the Sonic ones.
Yeah. Because I watched the first Sonic one. I haven't seen the second one, but I heard the second one was still pretty good. Having like Knuckles and Tails and whatnot in it, but the first Sonic movie I thought was decent.
Yeah, it was decent enough. Yeah, at least it felt like Sonic.
Like, yeah, and they have good voice actors too for Sonic and the characters. I've heard Tails' voice as well, and I thought it was pretty good too. So like, they at least nailed that. You know, making the characters feel like they're who they're supposed to be. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see like what other, because they're gonna do a The Last of Us TV show, and I'm like, how is that gonna go? Like, I'm curious. Like, Sony's starting to do a bunch of movies about their games. I heard about a Horizon Zero Dawn, either movie or TV show too.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. How that could work. That could work. The world is like weird, like different enough from other stuff, but it has to be like
really
an offshoot.
Try.
Yeah,
they have to like really, because like I feel like to make that world, I feel like it would cost a studio so much money and take them so long.
The CG has to be really good, because I didn't even think about it like the The Last of Us makes sense. It's gonna be cheap enough. It's literally
just like a Walking Dead.
Like, it's just Walking Dead, right? But like Horizon, it has giant metal creatures, right? Like the giant dinosaurs and everything. So it's gonna need a lot of CGI to look weird.
Yeah, and like environment stuff too. Like they're gonna have to make it look really realistic, but also like futuristic, because that's how that whole game is, right?
Yeah,
right. It's old, but also futuristic, and I can see that taking a studio like so long to make. So like, if they're gonna make a Horizon Zero Dawn movie, they're gonna have to really try it. Like Uncharted, that's not too hard either, right? Like
it's just a normal modern. Yeah, that one is easy enough. Although they do have this crazy stupid battle that I just remember how the CGI does get kind of bad at the end, because they have like this grandiose like big battle. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, this is not important. You'll see when you watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I think it's on Hulu or something. I really need to watch it. It's been there for a minute. I've just forgotten to watch it. I've been watching other series. I don't know if you watch. There's one of the movies. There's a series called The Orville. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like it's by the guy Seth MacFarlane. He makes Family Guy and stuff. Weirdly enough, I'm not a Family Guy fan or anything, but he has his own series where it's kind of like Star Trek, and he's literally in the series. Like, he's like the main captain of it and everything, and they do a pretty good job. Apparently, he's a big space nerd. Like, there's another series called I can't remember it. It's a really old series, like an old astrophysicist, Carl Sagan. Yeah. He's the guy who did it a long time ago, and Neil deGrasse Tyson does it now, and he funded it and everything. And so he's like a huge like space guy.
Yeah.
I've been watching that for like series, I guess.
I watched Stranger Things. The new season came out. That was okay.
I need to watch that too.
And then there is this other show on Netflix called Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, by Jared Way.
Yeah, and the new season just came out. It's actually really good. The last season was really good. That one is also one of those where a lot of really crazy stuff happens, and it kind of goes off the rails. And like literally every character in that show is like kind of a dick. Like they're all like problem children. They all have like their really dramatized like backstories to themselves and everything. Have you seen it? Have you seen it at all?
No, but my brother, he's like a huge fan of it.
You should watch it. I feel like you will like it.
I think I would too. I mean, Jared Way, I like anything he does. I mean, he's the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, which is crazy that he went from that to that.
They are he's a comic writer too. He's done several comics.
Yeah, he's
a
great dude, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch him in concert soon, so excited.
I want to see him so bad. I want to see MCR so bad. Like, there's not a lot of bands I would love. Like, I'd have to see live. Like, there's some that I could just listen to on.
Because you don't know if they're gonna. You don't know if they're gonna make another concert after that, right? Like,
yeah, they might quit again.
Why did they quit after the month?
Yeah, they do like 4 concerts a year or something, you know, because they're like we know for sure they're gonna sell out. You know, people are gonna pay for this shit, so like they can make it super expensive.
Yeah, I'm watching it somewhere in like either September or October, one of the 2 months. I don't remember, but honestly, I'm so hyped. Like that's like peak hype for me right now. I'm like,
absolutely, dude. I
cannot wait for that at all. And I don't know. Besides that, yeah, honestly, just that. I really haven't been watching much. I haven't actually played any games since I went through my binge of like all the Souls games that I think I talked about last time.
Yeah.
After that, I don't know. I just haven't really picked up. I tried to pick up games.
No game's as good as the Souls games.
Yeah, no, like never mind. I did get a review code, which I guess this is now the video for this,
Demon
right?
Slayer.
For Demon Slayer. So
I have it too. I haven't played it.
I played that, and I was going to do a review for that because I actually did play a lot of it. And but you see, Demon Slayer, the video game is literally the TV show. Like it goes through the entire TV show.
That's
at least the first season.
Bro.
It goes through the first season and the movie. So if you've seen the TV show, there's like absolutely no reason for that, other than if you want to play the characters. So like it's fine. It's really good. Like the gameplay is literally like Naruto. Like if you play the Naruto, what are those called? Storm,
Ultimate Ninja Storm,
or whatever. That's literally what they play like.
That's what I was saying about the game. Like, and it's gonna be out of date. Like, give it a year. Like, give it for this season to be over, and you'll be like, this game.
Well, the season's already over. It's already out of date. By the time that the game came out here in the States, the new season was already like almost over. So by default, it's gonna be out of season.
And that's how the My Hero game as well. It's basically just Ninja Storm, but with My Hero characters, and it's super out of date. And they have to make another one, and you know,
well, that's how they are.
It's a Japanese game, so by the time we get it, it's out of date already. So
yeah. Even if they do it day to day, it's so out of date, like so fast, because the anime don't stop. You know, like they always release a new anime and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like it reminds me of those like tie-in movie games. You know, like they used to do the Spider-Man movie games, or like they did a Hulk movie game. They did the Harry Potter movie games, which just literally a retelling of the same thing that just happened, or completely offshoot and random and it had nothing to do with the movie itself.
Yeah, which sometimes can be done right, but sometimes not. Sometimes it's terrible.
Most of the time, because like a movie takes a completely different time frame as a video game, right? Video games can take years to make. They can make a movie in like 6 months.
Yeah, which is kind of like what we were talking about, like with like games going to movies and movies going to games. Sometimes it works well, but sometimes it going the other way around doesn't work well either. Like
it doesn't
have
work
the
well.
right IP to do it like perfect, or to have it be done in a way that doesn't like suck. You can't always just like jump media. Sometimes like books, like when they go to movies, they're terrible because like a book's able to give you so much more detail and whatnot. So like, I don't know. I'm not even a reader, but like I can understand how like a book probably can give you more details than what the movie could.
I feel like any book adaptation needs to be a TV show. It cannot be a movie. Like
yeah, well, it depends on how long it is. If it's like Harry Potter, for instance, it's like 800 pages or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's super huge, and like they're like, well, let's make it like a 60-minute movie, or like, I guess a little bit longer. They're like usually like an hour and a half, you know?
Yeah, even like 2 hours. It's still like not enough.
Yeah. But like to read the book, it takes you like fucking 8 hours or something. It's like you're getting like a fourth of like the detail.
Right, exactly. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I'm a huge book reader. I read a lot, and lately I'm just like, I don't know, when something gets announced, like when it's a book, there's a movie that I already read the book for. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna even try to enjoy it, because then I'm gonna be comparing it to the book the entire time.
I heard that was some people's problems with Dune. I haven't watched Dune or read Dune. I'm reading another series called Foundation, which apparently got a series or something like that. But it's another big space sort of thing.
I will say Dune is not that bad, but it is like they stretch the beginning of the book so much, and they like literally like half of the movie is like 2 chapters of the book. So they're
doing like a Final Fantasy remake kind of deal.
Yeah, they're really stretching it, and then by the time, because Dune, it's like 15 books, so I'm like, are they trying to do like, what are they trying to do here? Like, it could have worked so much better as a movie. Like, there is a lot of sci-fi elements to it, but Dune truthfully doesn't need that much CG, because a lot of the action and a lot of the things happens in a desert planet. At least like the first Dune, like the first few Dune books and everything. And I don't think it was bad. The movie was fine. It's just so slow paced compared to the because the book has a lot of action to itself. Yeah. But like, again, like, they added so much. There's like a lot of mysticism. It's almost like Star Wars in a sense. Like, they also have like powers. The main protagonist has like powers and everything, and they did not showcase anything here. Like, I don't know if you haven't watched it, but there's like,
I plan to.
The main protagonist comes from a line of like space wizards, if you will, like Jedi almost, basically. Like that, they have like their own superpowers, and they're like super skilled in fighting and everything. And that he's like the chosen one, basically. But none of that even plays any role in like the book, in like the movie. And it's like the substantial part of like the series is his bloodline. And like, because it's not just about him, but like his descendants and everything. So the book takes, it's almost thinking like Star Wars, like Anakin and like his descendants later on. That's basically how Dune works. It's him as a character, but then later on, his descendants and like his son and his in whatever happens after that and everything. So he's like span of decades and everything. I believe even goes across like multiple generations down the line and everything too.
That'll be a long series if they really try to keep going with it.
And I was like, the first movie is like 2.5 hours long, and it covers a portion of the book. Yeah. It doesn't even, it covers maybe like, not even like a half of the book. It's like less than a half of the book.
It's like books give you more detail in a shorter amount of time, kind of, you know? Or they mess it up and they do it the other way around, where it's too fast and they don't explain enough. So like, that just goes to show like how important pacing really is. Like, not only with like games to like movies, but like movies and like books to movies as well. Like, if you don't have the same pacing with the amount of like material you have, it's always going to be something's always going to be off that way. So that's like such an important detail that they have to do. I plan to watch Dune. I've always heard that Dune sort of inspired Star Wars because it was beforehand. Like it's one of the first. Like Foundation and Dune were like two series that were like like a couple decades before Star Wars ever even became a thing, like multiple decades beforehand, and like they heavily inspired Star Wars, or maybe George Lucas like just liked them or something. I'm not sure, but like I've always wanted to read those and like watch them because I've always heard that like they might actually even be better than Star Wars. So I've always been curious about that. I'm reading the first Foundation book.
Yeah.
Isaac Asimov wrote them, and I don't know. It's interesting. I wish that got like a good series. I don't know. Is there any books that you've read that like? Because I know you said that you rather just read them than like watch the movie later.
Oh,
but
well,
like
that reminds me right now when you're just when you were asking me about books that I read. There's gonna be a new Percy Jackson TV series on Disney Plus. And I like the Percy Jackson books, but the movies that happened maybe about a decade ago were so bad. Like they were like on the level of like Avatar: The Last Airbender bad.
I remember watching those and not thinking they were crazy good. I remember watching them like they're whatever. Yeah.
The books are really good. They're actually really like I would put them on like a Harry Potter type of thing. But what they do is they do such a accurate representation of like the Greek gods, and later on it expands to other pantheons of other gods as well and everything, and it's really really cool, like the way that they the dynamic of like the different gods, and like they're not truly bad or truly good, they all have like their different factions, and like the main protagonist and like his friends and the situations that are put in and everything. It's really good. Like the books are really good, but the movie again, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do with the TV show and everything. Supposedly, what happened?
What's the TV show supposed to be on?
Disney Plus.
No, like what's the which Percy Jackson like books?
The same ones. The same one the movie happened. Yeah. But the difference is that this time around they're gonna have the author is gonna be part of the crew. So he's gonna be involved in the process of it, because that's what happens with a lot of the movies. That's
how the Last Airbender series that's gonna be on Netflix was supposed to be. Like both of the apparently it's two writers.
Yeah.
Ones that wrote all of them. They were supposed to be part of it, but
they left.
Netflix was fucking up, so they left. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah.
But I heard that they're coming out with like a new animated series. Apparently,
it's gonna be 4 movies of Avatar: The Last Airbender, covering
but
different.
They're involved though.
Yeah,
the actual people.
Yeah. So that's gonna be cool. I'm interested on that because I think Avatar works well on the animation thing. I mean, like the movies, the TV show was good, so I think the movies will work just fine. And they've been doing comics. There's actually a ton of Avatar comics. I always thought about buying them, and I'm like, I don't know, like I retain too much information, and like I read so fast that I can read the entire book while I'm at the bookstore. So like by the time, so like I don't know, I do not like buying comics, because as much as I would like to support like the industry, I read them too fast for me to like justify spending like $10, $15, $20 on a comic that I'm gonna finish in like half an hour. You know? So like,
well, my thing also, it's like now that has to stay in your house somewhere. You don't want to throw it away. You just bought it.
And then comics are like shaped differently. Like a book is shaped a certain way, right? And you can put books together.
Yeah, and sometimes they look nice on a bookshelf. Books do, but like a comic, it's like I don't. Like, how do you really put that?
Yeah, how am I gonna store it and everything? And I do own some like classic Batman comics. Like I own like the Joker. What is that called? There's a Joker book comic series where well, I was gonna heavily spoil that, but anyway, it's a good comic series. I forgot the name.
Maybe don't spoil it.
Yeah, but it's good. I like Batman comics. They're actually pretty good. I don't know. This is another frustration that I have of like how badly DC manages like they're really good book comics, and then when they're doing movies, they're like absolute trash. Like, I am sorry if people still like things like Batman vs Superman and like the Justice League. I'm sorry, but even the Snyder Cut was not good. Like, I know some people have like their own opinions on that or whatever, but like I would like a really good comic accurate like storyline.
Yeah, I just feel like the people in charge at DC just don't have it together as well as like Marvel. I feel like the DC people also like try to rush things.
Yeah, it feels like that too. Because like the first Superman movie, although also not comic accurate, at least it was fine. And they were trying to do certain things. I kind of was okay with the Wonder Woman movie. The Aquaman movie was fine.
Yeah, I like the Wonder Woman movies. I've seen those. They're pretty good.
I think the best movie that they've done so far, as far as DC, was the Shazam.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that one was actually fine. Oh, and they did another. I forgot about this, but they did another Suicide Squad movie with James Gunn from the Guardians of the Galaxy. That was actually pretty good too.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I heard that one's better than the first Suicide Squad.
Yeah, absolutely much better. It's way better.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like another series where it's like that should work. You shouldn't be able to fuck that up. You have literally all the villains and things that people love. Like, that's the thing about DC. People love the villains too. Yeah. Like, people love the heroes as well, and like the villains in Marvel. But like DC, like the villains are like really good. Like, people love the Joker. I mean, Joker has his whole brand, like his whole series. There's a whole Thanos series or something like that. So like, people love the DC villains. Then you have a series that's literally about villains, and somehow they mess that up. It's like, how do you mess that up? That shouldn't happen. Like, people love the villains. It'd be good if they, like, I don't know, I haven't seen the newest Suicide Squad, but like, I feel like it'd be interesting. And I think the person who does like Harley Quinn is a perfect Harley Quinn. I've always loved her.
Oh yeah, they did such a good job. And you know what? Yeah. I did like the Joker movie they did recently with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
that was really good. I really liked that movie. And then
it's so good. Jared Leto as Joker? No.
That needs to drop. I don't know. They need to stop giving him roles.
Do you know what I heard though? Supposedly, yeah, he just needs to stop. Morbius as well. Oh my god, dude!
It's just like, not only was he not content with fucking up DC, he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do Marvel too.
I'm gonna fuck Marvel up too, real fast. He's a terrible person, apparently, as well. Like,
yeah, I heard really a bunch of like crazy stuff about him, and I don't know anything about him other than when he was in 30 Seconds to Mars or whatever. But as a actor, he just sucks. I don't know. I've never seen a good movie with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's good in American Psycho. He just gets killed in that. That's what happens to him. That's pretty much it. What was I gonna say though? Something. Yeah. Apparently, they're supposed to be like doing a second Joker movie, but Joaquin Phoenix is like not 100% sure about it. But apparently, like, William Dafoe came out saying he's like, I'll be a Joker if I have to. Which William Dafoe's Joker would not be such a bad idea either.
That'll be cool. I would like a William Dafoe like Joker interpretation. He's pretty good. And
yeah, he's a good actor and like in general too. But I think he also like physically fits Joker pretty well also. So like, I'd be pretty excited about that if they do go with him for like a second Joker movie or something. That'd be interesting. Joaquin Phoenix wouldn't be bad to have again either too.
Yeah, I think the thing about his Joker is like, where would you take the character from them? Like, he had like his whole like character development and everything.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
I don't know. That's kind of what tricks me about him. I'm like, okay, he had his whole thing. Like he already.
I guess it's if they want to like go into like the Batman stuff. Batman's like a kid, so it's like, I don't know, would it be like decades later? I don't know. It'd be weird. Like, they'd have to like figure something out with that. But I know Joaquin Phoenix was like, I don't think taking that Joker and like doing all the Batman stuff with it is a good thing, which I kind of agree, to be honest. I think it's good where it is as its own.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I like how we started with something completely different. Now we're talking about DC.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's still good movies. There's good series and things out there. Loki was pretty good too. I watched that recently.
Oh, you
did? I felt like I would have loved it because all the time, like stuff. Because I love that kind of stuff in general. But yeah. I guess this was like our movies and shows type of thing. But we'll probably do something a little more interesting with that later at some point.
Yeah, we'll definitely do something more detailed as far as like what kind of shows and TV shows and movies we like and everything. It was kind of fun. I don't know. We just kind of started going in one direction, and I don't know. I had a lot of fun today. Yeah,
me too. Like, I don't know. I guess let's give like one recommendation to people out there, like what to watch. Like, I think if you're looking for something good, like recently, I think I was gonna say Obi-Wan, but I think there's better things out there. Watch the Orville. If you like space and you like, I don't know, if you're like a Star Wars fan or you like Star Trek or any of that kind of stuff, watch the Orville. It's really good. Like, they actually take the time to like do good storyline type stuff with like actual like futuristic space things. Like, they have a whole episode on like a planet that sends out a message, like first contact to like aliens, but you're seeing it from the perspective as you're the aliens meeting people for the first time that like just sent out a message to the universe. So it's like a really interesting
or is it like
no, it's live action.
Live action, interesting.
Yeah, and like they do concepts like that all the time. They have an episode where it's about like time travel as well.
Yeah,
and it's super interesting. Like, I don't know if you love sci-fi, if you love space, stuff like that in general. If you like Star Trek, you like Star Wars, it's really good. That's my recommendation. That you could take away from this podcast. It's on Hulu. Season 3 just dropped like I think a week or two ago.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my recommendation.
Well, let's see, my recommendation, I guess. I think I mentioned earlier that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, I recommend that movie. If you want something that is like massively crazy and like really over the top, and you like things like time travel or like multiple timelines, that kind of stuff, strongly recommended. Again, I think they did such a good job like showing like absolute madness and like actual like crazy storyline and everything. I really recommend that. I had a lot of fun with that movie.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. It seems like that one probably has like a good like story to it too, from like what you were saying with like the characters and the family and everything.
Yeah, they have a good. It's a good family movie. Like, ironically, even though it's like super sci-fi and like super weird, and like you see people fighting with dildos and shit like that, it's still like such a wholesome like family movie and everything. Yeah, I strongly recommend it. Like, if there's one movie or TV show that you pick up from this, definitely check that out.
That's interesting. We both gave sci-fi shit. That's what's funny. Well, I guess like there's a lot of sci-fi stuff out right now.
Well, our entire channel is modeled around like cyberpunk, like sci-fi aesthetics. So I guess
we both loved it. So I guess that checks out. Yeah, weird.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching today's episode, guys. I had a lot of fun talking about all this stuff. We definitely didn't have a particular direction, but I think it's better when we do this kind of stuff, because we get to talk about anything that we kind of come up to mind and everything. And if you have any recommendation for us, like if you hear anything that we talked about today and you're like, oh, I think you should watch this or whatever, definitely let us know.
And let us know your critiques too. Like, did you like, I don't know, maybe you really hate Dune. I don't know. Let us know your critiques as well for any of these series. Like, I know a lot of people have different opinions because they just see like a series in a different way. Like, I don't know, and I like thinking like watching something again and thinking of it in a different way, you know?
Yeah,
sometimes
definitely.
It changes your perspective.
I'm sure some people are gonna be like, "What? These guys like Star Wars?"
Star Wars can't be. But yeah,
thank you guys something else. I don't know.
For watching, like, comment, subscribe, guys. We've talked recently too. we appreciate all the people who watch this. We didn't think this podcast would kick off as much, but I think we're both really happy about it. So thank you, everybody who sticks around and watches and has subscribed to the channel. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching this, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.